Have you heard of Dr Masaru Emoto's water experiment? Or the rice experiment? How he talks to the water and the molecular structure of the water changes. Now, is it the words or is it his intentions that changes the water? Stay tuned and we'll have a look. And welcome back to the Brac Shop, the portal to the paranormal and the spiritual. Because where there's dark, there's light. And I'm Tom from the shop. Now, have you heard of Dr Masaru Emoto's water experiment? This is where he talks to the water and the water changes their molecular structure. And it also leads further on to the other experiment of the rice experiment, which actually tells you more that it's more than the words, it's more your intentions. Because a lot of people have commented, water can speak Japanese. But it's not so much the language, it's the intention, the positive vibrations, or negative vibrations if you're wanting to go to that side as well. Now, what he did was he took some samples from waters of different sources, like a spring water, a polluted river water, and he actually froze these samples that he had so he could look at went down to the molecular structure to see the crystallization of the water. And what he found was very interesting. They actually grew into crystals when they were frozen. And the water that came from the spring and the natural places all had nice crystallized formations, while the water that came from the polluted rivers, the sewage, they had actually really bad, malformed crystals. And that was very interesting discovery. Now, what he did was he went a little bit beyond that, because he found out what the crystals from the good sources looked like, and also what the crystals from the bad sources looked like. And he compared them. He went that little bit further by experimenting with his thoughts. And what he did was he started speaking to the water. And he said nice things to the water, sending his love, his appreciation, just nice, good harmony, good vibrations. And he also did this with another sample of plain water, sending mean and hurtful and malicious thoughts to it. And then he froze the samples and compared the crystals again. And what he found was very interesting. He found that the water exposed to the good thoughts formed these beautiful crystals, lovely geometric designs. Now, the water that was exposed to the negative thoughts, the bad thoughts, the negative vibrations, they actually formed bad crystal shapes. They weren't geometrically designed, they were really bad and malformed. So it goes to show it's a lot of our intentions. Now that goes on to the rice experiment. Now don't forget, if you like this episode, do us a favor and help the channel by clicking on the like button and subscribing, and click the bell so you get the notifications from YouTube. Now this leads us a little bit deeper to the next part, which is the rice experiment. Now, some of you may know of the rice experiment. In fact, there's lots of videos on YouTube for the rice experiment. And what happens is that you get some rice and you put them into 3 separate containers and seal them off. Now, one rice, you mark good intentions. The next rice, you put bad intentions or hate, and the other one with love. And the third, you just mark neutral or you just ignore, because that's basically what you do. And this is supposed to go on for a month. Now, with the rice that is positive, you send good thoughts and loving thoughts to the rice. Now, the second container, the hate container, you send really mean, horrible thoughts to it, like I hate you, I detest you, I despise you, you're no good, you're hopeless, that sort of thing. And the neutral rice, you just ignore it, even forget it's even there. And this goes on for a month. And lots of people have tried this, and the results are quite spectacular. Now, after a month, the good rice has actually fermented, and it's not that bad. It doesn't smell too bad. It's quite all right. The bad rice, the second sample, has really gone off. There's things growing on it. It's quite vile. And the neutral rice has gone off a bit, but it's not as bad as the rice that was hated. Now, you can watch on YouTube. There's lots of experiments done on this and shown on YouTube. And the results are usually always the same. Now, you will find some people that will discredit this experiment, but I think their intention is to discredit it. And I think that discredited intention has leaked out and contaminated all the samples. And that's why they say the experiment doesn't work. Now, rice is made up of water as well. And the human body is made up about 70% of water. So it's a good deduction, or an interesting deduction, to think that the intentions you put out can be received or absorbed by someone else. And also yourself as well. And that's why it's important to appreciate yourself, to love yourself, to feel good about your body, and stop saying negative things about yourself, because one, your subconscious takes it in, and two, from this experiment we've looked at, 70% of your body is water. So what's happening with that water that is inside your body? Is it becoming malignant and therefore having an ill effect? They say that people harbor bad thoughts or regrets, and they fester, developing into diseases like cancer. Is this what is happening? That our thoughts are affecting our bodies, creating bad molecular structures in the water that's in our body, and creating something really bad in us. What do you think? Plants. People say you can talk to plants, and plants grow better. And usually people who do talk to plants are people that love their plants and tend to their plants and talk to them. So are they really talking to the plant, or are they talking to the molecular structure in the water in the plant, and that's helping the plants to grow? Or maybe a bit of both. It's an interesting concept, an interesting thought. And again, I've always said quantum physics will probably explain the answer in years to come, whether that be a few years or a few centuries' time. So what do you think? And then it leads to other things like manifestations. Can our thoughts bring us what we want? Or even our subconscious thoughts bring us things we don't want, as we've seen with some people, and you wonder why things have happened to them, but then you wonder, and then you see that deep down there's a negative feeling about themselves, and they've attracted this self-hate, and so bad things have happened to them. And it works positive way as well. Like some people will say, oh, it'd be nice to go on that trip. And for some reason, out of the ordinary, in a month's time, someone says, I've got a spare ticket somewhere. You want to come along? And that's happened as well. Now, is that the same thing? The intentions? Scientifically, we've explained it, how your intentions can change the structure of the molecules in the water. And that's through vibrations. And can vibrations also interact on a different level? Maybe on that collective consciousness and bring you what you want because you are then on that right vibration. What do you think? And that's why it's always good to have good intentions, to put out good intentions. After all, what have you got to lose? And it's actually quite a regular practice. Of course, priests do it all the time. They bless the water to make it holy water. Now, there's a blessing in that. And in the old days, when you used to pray before dinner and lunch, before you ate, to thank God or the universe for the food, whether it be small or a big banquet, to be thankful for what we've received. And that's being grateful and having gratitude as well. Now, the intentions we've just put out for that, is that the same thing? In fact, it's a bit like blessing the food, giving thanks. And so that food has been energized and we then consume it, giving ourselves the energy back. And there's a very interesting exercise I've just learned recently, how you can actually energize your water. And anyone can do it. You can do it yourself. And basically you get your water, or a jug of water, and you actually bless it. You meditate, you concentrate, take a few deep breaths so you're on a neutral state, and then you bless the water. If, let's say, which is a good one, because a lot of people want money, you can energize the water so it has abundant qualities. And you just bless the water and say this water is full of abundance, and you energize it. And then later on you consume it. And that is inside you to energize you and make you abundant as well. So you attract abundance. Now, I've been trying it a bit. I've just started, so I'm not quite sure how that'll go. But why don't you try that experiment? Maybe for a month. Do it for a month and see if you can attract abundance or health or whatever you energize the water with. And then come back to this video and write the comments below. Let's see how it goes. Let's take this experiment on. So that's my thought with energizing. Energize the water, energize your food, be grateful for your food. And these are all positive vibrations you are giving out, which will bless the food and the water, which you'll take back in, or other people may consume it as well. And you'll get the energy and the blessings. So try it and let me know, and I'll let you know as well. And write your comments below on how it goes. And don't forget, if you've found this video interesting, do press the like button, share it with your friends, have a conversation, see what you think. I'd like to hear what you think. And the world is so unexplainable. There's so much out there that is unexplainable. And I think quantum physics will have the answer one day. Just like no one knew about electricity 500 years ago. And if you went back and showed them electricity, you'd be burnt as a witch back then. So if you've liked this episode, click the like button, press the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you won't miss out on my upcoming videos. And I'll see you next time. And stay well and happy.